Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Devils41 here, wanting to bring you another video just talking about an update and what's to come from kind of the channel and just what to expect over the next couple of months as I'm trying to put out more content and trying to put out more videos. I'm off in my garage right now. I may not end up here because it's really hot because I do live in Arizona and it was over 100 degrees today, so it is boiling in my garage right now. But I wanted to introduce my E46 right now, which I did buy as a project car. So as some of you have followed the channel or anything like that, I did have an M235i before. I did sell that to Carvana and then did buy this just so I could have kind of in the interim as I'm waiting on kind of the next bit of information and kind of what I'm going to share with the channel and my journey along with it is myself buying a G80 M3. So I'm going to be just sharing that story with you guys, kind of what the specs are and kind of what that experience is. Not doing it from any type of bragging standpoint. I'm mainly doing it just to kind of document it for myself and then anybody who else is kind of going through that same journey as well. I wanted to introduce the E46 and I am going to be turning this into a track car after I get kind of the G80. Some of the first upgrades that I'm kind of due to it is the coilovers. I'm probably going to put some coilovers on it because the suspension on this is about 132,000 miles. So I'm going to definitely need to replace that right now. And then I am going to add in a new head unit on it just so I can kind of upgrade that and put in a backup camera because my wife does drive this because it is an automatic as well. It did come with kind of its problems as any type of N54 is going to have. It didn't have that many type of issues. It did have a coolant leak and it did have an oil leak. It actually still does have an oil leak from the oil pan gasket, but I am going to be replacing that when I do an upgrade also on the pan itself and put in a baffled oil pan in there when I replace the gasket for that oil leak as well. I also need to replace the fuel filter. I need to fix the headlights, which I'll probably show in some video is very, very janky. And then after that, I'm just going to keep driving it. And as soon as I get the G80, I will then turn this into a track car. So it is really hot out here. So I'm going to go ahead and head inside because it is boiling. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Devils41. I am back inside right now. So I'm actually talking to you through this microphone right now because the one on top of my actual camera is dead. I need to get some rechargeable batteries for it and figure out how to hook it up and all that. Pretty much what I talked about outside was I had ordered a G80 M3. Well, let me specify real quick. I had actually put my name on a list to get an allocation for it. I think that's pretty much ordering nowadays, was until you get an allocation for it and then you actually get a build number, they put it into production, and then it's usually about 3 months from there from what I've read from the forums and everything. But obviously that really varies right now between a lot of the shortages and between a lot of the shipping concerns that people have had. So that time will vary a little bit there. So pretty much I'm going to be walking through with you guys the journey of me actually ordering my G80 M3, what that really looked like for me, what that kind of journey was. This is more of a documentation for anybody who's looking to maybe do it themselves. Obviously this is probably one of the most maybe challenging times to order a car. Obviously prices are going to be going up for the model year 23, so some of these options may change as I talk to my client advisor. When I actually do get that allocation, I'll have to actually look at some of these prices because they did increase. I did actually get a hold of the book for that, which I may go over at the end of this just to show you some of the price differences between my actual build and what I had agreed to, or what the MSRP essentially is of the car. So without further ado, let's get into what my build actually looks like. So I did go with the G80 M3 Competition Sedan. I went for the rear-wheel drive. I didn't go for the all-wheel drive. Go for the rear-wheel drive. One of the reasons for that was I do plan on tracking this, kind of eventually. So I did want a rear-wheel drive platform. Nothing against all-wheel drive, just not really used to it. So, from there, I did a couple of different options with it. I went with the Fjord blue interior, and then as you can see here, I actually went for the carbon bucket seats as well. So with those carbon bucket seats, you know, from what I've heard from people, they are a little bit more uncomfortable, but you know, my wife agreed to letting me get them. Obviously, I'm not gonna say no when she lets me, you know, get something like that, but do keep in mind that these carbon bucket seats did take a big increase. I think it was about $700 over the 2022 price with the carbon interior. And then I think the model year 23 will have the iDrive 8 configuration. Not sure how it's going to look, but I can show a picture of what the M50 I looks like right now, just so you guys can actually see what that looks like with the iDrive 8 in there. So people are saying it's going to be that curved display. I'm not sure if they're going to have some type of integrated hood, but I did go with the executive package on this, which does give you the HUD, so I will have the heads-up display. Not sure how that's going to look with the new iDrive 8 and their, you know, live cockpit or whatever else it comes to from there. So this does have the Shadowline package as well. I do have the Shadowline lights, and I do have the laser lights as well. I think it pretty much must have kind of on the G80, just because the laser lights give it that kind of blue tint to it. I did like it because of the blue, obviously, accents on the car, and obviously the blue interior as well. And then looking down at some of these options down here, I went with the Brooklyn Gray metallic paint on it. That was something my wife actually agreed to. We kind of went through this build together because she is obviously going to be driving it. It is both of our money that is going into this, so it is going to be something for the both of us, so I want her to be happy with it. And that is also why I went with the automatic ZF8 over just getting the regular sedan M3 version that was an manual only. Probably would have done that if it was up to me, but obviously my wife doesn't know how to drive stick, so here we are. So that is also why I did get the E46, so I can do a 5-speed swap on that, or 6-speed, you know, depending on what I want to do. But I'm probably going to go with a 5-speed swap on it. But regardless, back to the G80 M3 build. I did go with the executive package, like I said before, which does give you the heads-up display. I can't remember what else goes with it. I'll probably list them up on the screen right now that goes with it. We can talk through any of those if you guys want to know, but really the only reason I got it was for the heads-up display. I did go with the mDrive Professional. Not sure if that's an option which I will keep, or maybe possibly add on the parking assist package, because with that parking assist package you do get for an extra $100 you get the drive recorder, and with that drive recorder it's pretty much like having a 360-degree dash cam. So you know, just kind of with the horror stories of kind of what's going on nowadays with you know, people getting into accidents and, you know, problems happening between, you know, a he said she said, kind of what happened between, you know, in the accident. If police don't show up or there's no kind of injury, at least in my state, they'll usually just say it's kind of both parties' fault, and, you know, it is what it is. So obviously with a, you know, very expensive car, that's a big concern. So that actually happened to recently to a friend of mine. He was driving very early to work and he got sideswiped, you know, from somebody who was coming in from a different lane. There was no injury because of where they were, even though the police did show up or they were called out. You know, they said we can't do anything for it because there was no any type of police report. Both the insurance companies agreed that it was nobody's fault. So you know, his M4 he did have to pay for, you know, it to have to get fixed now. You know, his insurance is going to have to go up. He has to put in a claim with it, even though it wasn't really his fault. So just having any type of dash cam is definitely highly recommended. So having that 360-degree dash cam is definitely something I want. So may get rid of the mDrive Professional. I'll put up exactly what it includes, you know, on the screen right now, but I think it includes like the drift analyzer, some of the track mode type stuff. But you know, I'm kind of thinking a lot of these, including the drive recorder, is something that can probably be coded in after the fact. So I'm sure like Beamer Code or one of those other type of you know, coding shops or something like that will come up with something in the future to maybe unlock those features. So I may kind of take the mDrive Professional off just to be able to have that 360 drive recorder and just be able to have them. As I talked about before, I did put on the iconic adaptive LED headlights with the laser lights. One thing about having these within the United States is I think the laser lights are not approved by the U.S. Department of Transportation. So because of that, they aren't kind of at their full capacity. So a lot of people say it's a waste to really have them. I'm sure in the future, as hopefully things get updated, we can actually use them. But really for me, I think they look very well with the car, so that's the reason why I kept them on there. And then we have the M carbon bucket seats, the M shadow line lights, and the rest of the other shipping, handling, whatever. So now, as I had kind of talked about before, I am including the spreadsheet I did put together just from the old model year pricing 2022 to the model year 23 pricing guide, which was up on the forums, I think, pretty much a few days ago, but I went through it just to look at that. But we did have a price change, I would say, of roughly about really through here about of a 4.7%, about 4.68 to be exact. But as we see, the overall pricing of the M3 Comp is going to go up about 5.07%. So it's going from 73,000 at least on the rear-wheel drive edition to 76,700. But the Brooklyn Gray paint is going from 550 on the model year 2022 to a no cost on the 2023. So there's a little bit of a cost savings there. Pretty much a moot point, when it comes to that with the other price increases. The executive package actually stayed the same. Same with the M Drive Pro, the M Shadow Line lights, the M Carbon bucket seats did increase $700. So I think I said it increased from $3,800 to $4,500. So that was about an 18 to 18.5% increase. The carbon fiber trim actually did not increase, so not sure why. Maybe it's not so much a carbon shortage or anything from there, but something to have to do with how this is manufactured or where they are. And then you have the laser LED headlights. Those did not increase. So overall, with the carbon bucket seats and some of the other packages, there really wasn't that huge of an increase. It was mainly the M3 Comp and then the carbon bucket seats. So the carbon bucket seats is really something that I don't think I will give up over the time of it. If I do give anything up, I'll probably give up the M Drive Pro, and as I talked about before, maybe add back in some of the other options. At this kind of price point, it is what it is. It's a 4% increase. As long as I'm not paying any type of royalty taxes or anything, or not royalty taxes, but dealership kind of taxes on top of it, especially right now that I've been waiting to get an allocation. So as I talked about before, I was 14th on the list there. Now I am actually told that I'm second to first on the list. So I think the model year 23, from what I saw in the ordering guide, if I saw it correctly, I did see the start of production becoming July 22nd from what it said on there. So hoping over the next couple of weeks I will have an allocation or something from there. So I will be telling you guys as soon as that does happen, sharing it with you and sharing that journey of kind of the build as well. So wanted to thank you for stopping in. I do have some videos coming up. I will be going on a couple of business trips, so I will be kind of slow, but maybe I'll bring some videos from going on some of those business trips and just kind of showing you guys some of the outside life and kind of what pays for some of this stuff. So I will see you guys in the next one, and thanks for stopping by.